Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions, pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance, all backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Altar Call. I am your host, Tane, for another episode of reality show Ramble. It's the episode where I talk about all the things I've been watching, especially the reality shows. This week, I will be talking about Perfect Match, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, Calabasas Confidential, Belle Collective Reunion, and Love After Lockup. This is a little late. I was a little under the weather, so sorry about that. I have been watching, like I told you guys before, my scripted TV, trying to be intentional about that. And in that vein, I watched Hacks. I kept up with Hacks. Hacks is great. Gene Smart is great. And the finale came up and that's been done. And I think it ended really nicely. It's always nice when um, the core is friendship. Like kind of like how when Sex and the City ended, the core was also around friendship. So it was really nice. It was sweet. I enjoyed it. And I love when a show in Hollywood knows it's time to say goodbye until we wait a year or two and they want to reboot it. And then it comes back in our faces. I'm talking to you, Ted Lasso. I love that show. Ted Lasso is great. When they said it was coming back, I'm like, why? Like it ended so nicely. We put a little bow on it and now it's coming back. Am I going to watch it? Yes, but still, I'm allowed to bitch. I'm also watching Mating Season. I don't know why I'm watching this silly little show, but at nighttime when you're just trying to unwind and not really think, and for me, when I'm watching stuff where I don't have to take notes, it just works for that. It's from the same people who did Big Mouth, which I liked for like the first few seasons, and after a while, it just became too much for me. But I don't know, Mating Season is it's mindless TV for me. So it's animated and it's crass and it's basically about animals in a forest and their different dating habits. Well, not dating, mating really, but it's sometimes funny, but I don't know, it works in its own way. Guys, I just finished this podcast. Shout out to Aid. Aid was the person who recommended this for me. It's called Love Trapped. It's the story of the Bachelor Clayton. I don't know if anyone watched this season. I did. I watched The Bachelor. I watched Bachelor in Paradise. I watched his season, with Michelle, and I was very surprised that he got tapped to be the Bachelor. In fact, I thought like she sent him home just so he could go prepare to be the Bachelor, and then he became the Bachelor. And this man is just awkward as all get out, and it's just people were saying he was a villain. I don't know if I'll go that far, but his big faux pas was that, the fantasy suites, he took them both, he slept with them, and then he told them at the rose ceremony that I just want to be honest and I slept with both of you, but I don't really want either of you. I want the other person who went home. So that was not nice. So that happened. But anyways, the podcast is about him literally being love trapped by a girl who said that she was pregnant with his baby and it would have been twins, and he wasn't taking ownership or paternity, and it was just this runaround that she was giving him and would not actually give him an actual pregnancy, like an ultrasound, because she did do a pregnancy test. But I don't want to spoil it for you in case you are going to listen to it for all the ins and outs of it, because it just got crazier. But then we find out that, she's been doing that to a couple of guys also. So I was very fascinated by it. And I'm glad that, some of the people got justice from this, but it is a great listen. So if you want to listen to it, once again, it's called Love Trapped. Once again, shout out to Aid for that. I've also been watching Pop Culture Jeopardy. I just love that show. It gives me joy. It moved from Prime to Netflix now. So it's now two teams. It was two people, I mean. It used to be three teams of three. I don't know why it had to be teams of three. And now it is teams of two. And personally, I think the questions are easier. People always ask me, would I ever go on reality TV? I would not. I always say no. Pop Culture Jeopardy, I would do. I would do Pop Culture Jeopardy. I do believe that I will freeze on camera and suddenly I'll go blank and I'll see their faces, but not have the names come out my mouth. But I would love to go there just for the experience. So I'll see if I can find somebody else because you have to take a test and you have to be separated. Then, based on your scores, they'll see if they call you in. But I am enjoying it on Netflix. In terms of reading, I just finished Brandy's memoir Phases, which I liked. I think she walked the line between sharing a lot and also keeping stuff to herself. But I love Brandy. She can do no wrong in my eyes, and I enjoy that. So currently, I am reading Strangers by Belle Burden. It's everywhere, and I am very fascinated by it, and I am intrigued. I'm in the beginning of it, so I'm not in the gist of the story, but it's the memoir of a person who talks about her marriage breaking down. It sounds bleak, but it is fascinating. So I'm reading that, and I'm also reading all the way by the river, or all the way down the river by Elizabeth Gilbert, which is also another fascinating thing. So share with me what you're reading, share with me what you recommend, but that's what I'm reading. The last thing that had me in a chokehold was I told you guys about the Nature Boy documentary that was on Hulu. And then I said, oh, I'm not getting into the rabbit hole that's on YouTube. It's like 46 episodes of 30 minutes episodes, 46 of them on YouTube that really goes in depth, and I'm not going to do it, but I did. And I can't believe all the things that I saw, and it's not real. But I went down that rabbit hole. But I also had time to listen to Kate Casey's podcast where she had an interview with the producer. And I was hesitant because, at first the documentary that came out on Hulu, I'm always wary when there's a documentary or a story to be told that's about Black people and is being told by a white person, because I'm like, there are just some nuances that I don't know that can be captured, or the culture, which was the same case, I think, for Mary Cosby, her documentary, The Cult of a Housewife. Like, they're just things that add to it. But listening to the interview that he had with Kate Casey, where I was wondering why he got to tell the story, it wasn't because he was sensationalizing it. He actually had a relationship with Nature Boy years ago in 2017. He said he was going out to something in Costa Rica and he happened to be there, and he was looking for information about living in Costa Rica and having that. So they were, text messaging and talking, and he even flew down to go meet him. But the day that he landed was the day that he got deported. Nature Boy got deported a lot of times. So that was the angle that he was coming from. And the reason why it was also different was like, he didn't want Nature Boy to be the focus of the story. He wanted the focus to be on the people he considered the victims, because he already gets enough focus on there. So, it's still a completely different documentary from the YouTube versus the Hulu, but it did give context as to how that came about and why it took the angle that it did from that. So, okay, that's what's taking up my time offline when I'm not yapping to you guys on the mic. But the first show I'm going to go into is Perfect Match. They are done. I think it got done like last week. This is a show that I just thoroughly enjoy. It's just mindless TV, but I still enjoy it, and everybody understands the assignment and what they're supposed to do on here. Spoiler alert, in case you haven't watched it, it's been like almost 2 weeks. I'm about to say who the winners are. Turn it down, fast forward, do what you need to do. I cannot believe who the winners were. Maybe I'm not going to say it, or I will. I cannot believe that Dave and Sophie won, honestly. Like, I just never in a million years did I think that it was going to be them. I actually thought it was going to be Jimmy and Allison. I thought they were going to win. So I don't understand where that came from. But of course, they're broken up already. Like, actually, let me give an update for all the people, because I don't know why they didn't give a full update for everybody. But they split. They did go on the vacation that they showed, but I mean, of course, Australia to England. Yes, he said, oh, he's moved to Canada for someone before, but that man isn't going to do it. Like, he, even on his season of Married at First Sight, he had cold feet. So, Jimmy and Allison, who I thought should have won, are no longer together. They did try, they went back and forth, but it seems like they're not together anymore. I still don't understand Jimmy's accent and where that's from, but no one seems to care or mind. So we just go along with it, I guess. Okay. Marissa and Damari are no longer together. In fact, Marissa went ahead and married someone like 4 months after filming. And yeah, I'm not shocked. Like, honestly, I think like it tracks with behavior from Marissa. Like, I just hope it was like a right decision and it wasn't like a spontaneous decision. It is someone I think she's known before from way back. So even if I do think she's a little impulsive and she is like someone who really wants love. So I mean, I always wish the best for everyone. So good luck to her. Yemen and Natalie, we already knew because Yemen is still with Whitney from Love Island UK All Stars. And Natalie apparently started dating Chris. And I'm like, what is that about? That's very messy. But that final was very interesting. Oh, Ali and Jimmy are not a thing. In fact, Jimmy moved to Miami to go live his best life with his new look. So good luck to him. That man is a fuckboy. He's not serious. And Ali has moved to Charleston because I think she's gonna try and get on Southern hospitality, but we'll see. Um, the final where everyone was just bringing up stuff like yet again Spotify has ruined another couple on Netflix because people were texting through Spotify. I will say though, when Hashim actually said out loud that him and Ali got intimate, I think that was very wrong of him. If she didn't bring it up, it's not your place to bring it up. There was just no reason for that. It was unnecessary. Maybe his ego was bruised, but I don't know. I didn't like it. I know Ali can be annoying, but honestly, Ali was just like living her best life on Perfect Match. She was having a great time. She was doing what she wanted to do. And when you think about the relationship that she had with James Kennedy and getting out of that and just getting to be herself, she's allowed to. She can do whatever she wanted. But I know the point of the final deliberation is to try and poke holes and why it doesn't matter. Like, do you deserve the money or is it really real? But it was grimy to me. I just didn't think it was worth it. People trying to say like Yemen and Natalie did not encounter any struggles or anything, but they're friends to lovers, that it was hard. I don't know. Like I say, I always feel like Yemen feels he's just anything to stay on TV. I mean, I hope his and Whitney's is real, especially since it's long distance and he's putting in the effort, but also relationship content sells better than anything. But yeah. But either way, another season come undone. I really do hope that Netflix does the thing where the timing between when it's shot and when we see it gets shorter because we don't need to see it so far ahead when we already know what happens. Like we already knew that Yemen was with somebody else, so what are we watching for? The same thing when it was AD and Ollie. Like we already knew they were married, they were expecting a baby. So what was the point of watching it? It just kind of takes away the fun from that. So that was that. Okay, moving on to Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. This was the finale. I don't think they knew it was the finale. It wasn't set up like a finale. I just wanted to talk about it just to give it a send off because it has been on our TV screens for a very long time. That and its spinoffs. Miami is still on, but I've kind of fallen off on that. I might catch up on that. But all in all, I don't think there's been much growth from the moment that we watched it because Scrappy is still embarrassing. Scrappy does not realize that he's a grown man that should act like a grown man, and he's still out there just treating women like they're disposable. And the minute they do something that challenges him, he throws them away, even though he's cheating and being inappropriate, and it's everybody else's fault but his. Um, I cannot believe that after everything that Bambi is still entertaining him. You can't take these people seriously. Honestly, you really can't. I don't know when people will learn that you cannot hide things from the camera. Mendices and Yandy, I'm talking to you. I don't know what you guys are trying to hide. You're on TV and you're veterans, so you know these things. So I can't tell if I want them to stay together or not. Like, I don't think you should just stay together because you've been together a long time. And I know that especially with the Atlanta cast. They always try to say you should stay, and because Rashida and Kirk have stayed together through the most embarrassing things, even when they shouldn't be, they're like, that's true love. Like it doesn't have to be suffering. So I don't know if there's true love or if they're just used to each other. I don't know what mind game Mendices is doing, but one minute he's like, oh, we love each other. How did we get here? Another minute you're talking like you really have so much resentment. And it looks like Yandy has moved on. So good luck to them. And as always, I'm always team kids, not the adults. Whatever is best for the kids, that's what I want. Erica Banks, getting charges, facing two drug felony charges. Everyone around you is telling you that Dro is a problem. Your girlfriend, you need to look around. Like you never got into trouble until that came around, jeopardizing everything. And she seems to be living in delusion because she's like, I didn't do anything. I'm innocent. I'm not, going to jail. And I'm like, it is very heavy. You should probably take it more seriously. And a show is crazy when Carly comes to help Erica Banks at the jail and sees 24. And 24 says like he was taken in, but he's here to bond Salma, his wife. And I'm just like, what the hell? And it was traffic violations, but it's just kind of crazy. And Carly's, mayoress of Atlanta, knowing all the people to get people out, like, it's a reminder that she's a true OG with connections. My heart broke for Jessica. We did know that she lost a baby. She's gone through many miscarriages, and she finally got pregnant. And she'd been scared. She did tell us. She said, "I'm scared because with each month, I don't know if I'm going to lose it." And this was the longest that it's been for her. And for her to still lose the baby, it was really, really heartbreaking. And I felt really sad for her. I do hope she gets a chance. Like she said she will be a mother whichever way it takes, and I do hope that comes through for her. Um, Honestly, Zayn is so messy. Zayn and his wife are so messy, and Zayn is also an example of how men are so scared to go to the doctor. I cannot believe your brother needs a kidney, and you are so scared that you will not even go test to see if you're a match for your brother. That was just weird to me. Um, I'm with Ashley, like his wife is all over the place, but I am with her on the fact that they're doing a charity event trying to raise money for Zayn's brother, and then you bring Zayn's ex over to come over to. It is very messy to bring Michelle there. Zayn's mother should stop pretending like she wants to make peace and still try to irritate Ashley and get under her skin. So in that case, I am with Ashley on that one. Sierra is going through yet another divorce, and Sierra changes men like underwear. The problem is, I don't think she realizes that she doesn't need to marry them. She just keeps marrying them and saying this is the love of her life, and then she has to go through all these divorces. But I do hope she's okay, though. Like a lot of what I saw in this season, she said that she's okay now, but in the confessionals and even there, it just felt like she was still under the influence. I don't know under the influence of what, I don't know, but I just hope she's okay and she takes care of herself now, especially with the show going off. I don't know what that does to them with them not having work or something. I don't know if all these shows are going to move to Paramount Plus or something. I don't know, but I do hope that, she takes care of herself. And I guess to close out the episode for the 1000th time, we see Jock performing just a different reiteration of It's Going Down. And that's it. Thanks ATL, like in the very beginning, the Jocelyn seasons, the Mimi, we went through it was a time and a half for Love and Hip Hop ATL. So curtains are closed and that's it. Okay, moving on to Calabasas Confidential. I think I'm going to spend a while here. I started this show and I'm like, what the heck is this? It's like a version of Laguna Hills, except that they're in college. And everyone is so messy, but I'm enjoying it. I felt old, but I was enjoying it. There is no loyalty. There is a lot of Kardashian mention. I guess, I don't know, are they unofficially the faces of Calabasas? Maybe, but there's just a lot of them. This show is like if there were a person, there would be like a name dropper, I guess is what it is, because we get a lot of like random cameos for no reason. We get a lot of like mentions. Like even with the casting, we have like Jordan Wood's sister, but she doesn't really do anything. We haven't seen where she has with Jordan, but you can tell like okay, they got her so they could get Jordan. Like they get each person and they get their famous person counterpart, the person the person they're connected to that's famous, just to have that. And then we get like a random Carmen Electra showing. She just showed up at the tattoo shop where Hersey, who is Master P's son and Romeo's brother, Romeo Miller, trying to get a tattoo, and she just showed up and speaks some words to him. And I'm just like, this is so random. But the show is a name dropper. They just want to act like they got all these famous people and they have them. I cannot stand Dylan. I cannot stand him, because it truly is a choice to be a dick on camera on purpose in 2026. And I know they like to say like he changed his life, and just because he got sober does not mean that he changed his life. He just happened to change an aspect of his life, which is commendable, which is great. Like if alcohol was not good for him and he turned that around and is now sober, that's great and amazing. But that doesn't mean the rest of his life still doesn't need work. You cannot talk about women. He says that it was behavior that he had when he was in high school, because he was Gemma's first, and then the next day he told everybody because she bled, and then he told everybody in school that she was Bloody Mary. That is so awful. That is so awful. In my excitement, I did not tell you the premise of the show. It's basically what they did was a whole bunch of people who went to the same high school, and now for some reason or the other they're back in Calabasas, and they're all like just trying to see if their friend group can get together and see what goes on with the drama and everything, since they're all back in Calabasas and haven't been together since they graduated high school. And I think they graduated high school like 2021 or something like that. So yeah. So Dylan is saying like all these things happened long ago, but then in the conversation, he keeps saying that, oh, Gemma was never really someone he dated. She was someone that, he called only between like 2 a.m., 9, midnight. And you know what that is? That's current. That's current. And the things that you say and do is current. So I don't know what that's it. But on the flip side, I don't know why Gemma gives him the time of the day. But then I have to remember they're like 22, 23, frontal lobe, not developed. So we were all stupid when we were young, so that's what's happening right now. Um, at first, I thought Emma was misunderstood because she is also one of the people who's caught in Dylan's web, but I'm not so sure. I don't know. I don't know how that feels. Like I do think that she had like a tough childhood, and I think she does mention like she doesn't understand how her parents just let her do whatever it is that she wanted to do and not really feel like, okay, where are they? Where are you? They do have on the fly confessionals, which is kind of cute because in one instance, somebody they were talking about just walked by and they were all surprised that the person walked by. So having on the fly confessionals, even seeing it in Atlanta, it's coming back.
Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance, all backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.
And I like it. There's a tea place that they all go to. Was it La La Land or something like that? And I'm like, is this like their central perk, like in Friends, or this is the only place they could film? Because every day they always went on there. So they're two friends, right? Kimura and Emily. Emily is blonde, white, and Kimura is black, and I think she's an influencer. And they're best friends. Well, they keep telling us they're best friends. And now I don't know if it's like their best friends, or this is reality TV best friends, because everyone is best friends in the season. So Kimura dated Hersey. That's Master P's son that I told. And then now Hersey is interested in Emily. And Emily is entertaining it. And Emily is acting like it's nothing. Kimura is clearly pissed. We don't know the timeline of when they dated. All these things might have happened when they were 14, and some might say get over it, but it's still messy. Like, if that's your best friend, and it's not a case of Kimura saying she's the best friend, they're both saying they're best friends. Why are you interested in somebody that your friend dated? Why are you even entertaining? You're not shutting it down. Everyone's like, oh, Hersey flirts with everybody. And yes, he does, but you're a best friend. You're not everybody else. So why are we doing this? So when Kimura stops talking to her and says, I'm just going to remove myself from the situation, Emily's acting like she doesn't know why that happened and why she's not talking to her. And I'm like, please don't be weird. Like, you're being flirty with your friend's ex and then be like, oh, I don't want any drama. I don't want that in my life. But the thing that's so annoying, because we get another case of this with Suede and Dylan, they don't make them talk about it in the confessionals. They talk about everything else except the fact that, yeah, I guess it's messy to talk to your friends, or, oh, I don't feel like it's right. Something to that effect. They don't talk about it. But now I'm just like, maybe this is normal behavior. And that's why on Summer House Reunion, Amanda is saying none of you have ever been through that. But again, Lindsay did say we're in high school, maybe, and these kids are practically in high school. So there's that. Um, she just, again, like I said, Emily just never mentions that it's a little odd to be flirty, to go on a date with her friend's ex. I don't get it. I don't get it. I was talking about Dylan earlier, and part of what annoys me about him, first of all, I don't know. He never filmed at his house, so I don't know if there's an issue there. Every time we saw him, he was showing up with a bag and a change of clothes and a fucking toothpick in his mouth. This really irritated me. It really bugged the hell out of me. Like, the last person who did that all the time that I remember was Diddy. And that's all you need to know about that. Like, stop. Don't. It doesn't make you look cool. And he's a bull rider now. So everywhere he goes, he fancies himself a Marlboro man and a cowboy. He wears like a Stetson, and then he has the toothpick in his mouth. Like, you are in Calabasas. Stop it. Ugh, gosh, can you tell? I'm annoyed. Um, so Gemma has her group of friends, right? And she has told everyone about how Dylan is a dick, and Suede is like, you don't need him in your life. You need to get him out of there. I'm on your side. I'm here for it. So they go to like an event, and I don't know. To me, Suede and Dylan were flirting. She was flirting back. But then they ask her what's up, and she's like, no, I have your back all the time. I would never do this. And I'm like, the loyalty. The girls are not loyal. I just, and it's like, it's light work for them. I think that's what it is. There's no, oh no, I feel so bad. It's just, it is what it is. I did something and I have the right to do it. The entitlement is very strong. Like, it must be very liberating to be able to live your life that way. And, I wonder what that's like. I don't know. But again, I don't know if it's for a TV show or if this is just how she lives her life. Like I mentioned earlier, a lot of cameos were dropped, and it was a jump scare when we had Brandy Glanville just come up on our screens. And I don't know how these wacky women raise normal children, but I also don't know why we had this scene. Her son, Mason, this was the only scene we saw him in. I did not see him anywhere else. So why did they choose to keep this? Because they just wanted to have Brandy Glanville on here. But for me, it was so awkward. Like, how old is she? And she's still doing things for shock value. Like, they basically were just talking about, oh, she knew when he lost his virginity. She knew when he wasn't having sex anymore. Oh, he needs to do that. I'm like, what are you doing, Brandy? Like, and then telling, I think Emily showed up. Emily looked awkward. Nothing about the scene was organic or seemed natural. And I'm like, this show is trying so hard. But I was wondering why we didn't have a Larsa Pippen scene. We eventually got one because her son Preston is on the show, and I like him. I think he's sweet. I mean, he's messy pressy, but I think he's sweet. He bakes, and I think that's an outlet for him. He bakes cookies all the time. He shares them with his cast members, and they try to force a story with him with a kiss with Alexi that happened eons ago. Again, they might have been 13, but I don't know. I don't, maybe they do like each other. I don't know, but I just felt like they were trying to force something. But he does talk about, something that happened eons ago when he's talking about his mom, and he tears up and he says, my mom was friends with a famous family. He doesn't mention their name, but he was very carefully picking his words. But you could tell that it weighed on him. There was accusations of cheating, and then he split. And I don't know, what I took from it was that he was basically saying that he was glad to be his dad. So I don't know, just my interpretation, but he has things to sort out with that. The way, again, the cameos. Emily was on a date with Ben and saw a turtle, and Howie Mandel just popped up. But I'm like, was this natural, or was this like planned, or what is that about? But it also showed the celebrity culture that we have in America, because he came in, he was so excited about the turtles, and then she's like, "Oh my god, should I be more into the turtles?" Like, he seemed so into the turtles. So because the celebrity was into the turtles, then all of a sudden Emily's like, "Oh, I should be into turtles as well." But the whole Ben, Alexi, Emily thing, like, listen, Emily, DGAF, she don't give a fuck. She likes him. It was gonna happen. It seemed silly. You can't call dibs on someone. He wanted to be with Emily, and also, you didn't miss out on anything, because as Emma told us later, he actually has a girlfriend in New York, so he's playing them both just to be on TV. So, you know, nothing to see here. But Emily, when she does meet Ben, is like, "Oh," he asks her, "What's your type?" And she's like, "Tall, tan, blue eyes, aka not Hersey." So this makes it even worse. So you're just going on a date with your best friend's ex for the fun of it. He's not even your type. You don't even like him. Like, you felt bad, according to what she said. It's so annoying. It really is so annoying. And gosh. But anyways, um, so Aid is still going on with Dylan. She's going back and forth with him. Even when he does something, he shows up at a party with hickeys on his neck, and she's still entertaining him. And at this point, I have to convince myself that she's doing this for camera time, because it makes absolutely no sense why she's doing this. So I want to point out that the way the kids talk about something and the parents are so calm. Like Preston was telling Larsa about, how he was affected by the rumors and things that happened. And Larsa kind of makes a joke out of it and is like, "Did we mess you up? Did me and your dad mess you up? You have to go to therapy." And the same thing with Emma when she was talking to her mom and saying how, things were tough for her and she didn't have it. And her mom is just calmly just, "Oh, I'm sorry that happened to you." I'm like, you happened to her. You're the parent. So I don't know. Again, the difference between TV and reality, I hope they're taking it really seriously. Sterling and his girlfriend, she was a girl that was on Dance Moms and just felt so out of place. I don't think they're gonna last. He was hesitant about a lot of things, like, we need to slow down, we need to be there, and he made comments about, like, I don't want to babysit her, like, if she's not comfortable, and she also doesn't want to be like a burden. But we'll see what happens. But good on him for going against the grain and following his dreams to be a model. I guess he can always go back to what his daddy wants him to do. For a follow up, for anyone who's following, I know Hersey on the show said that he didn't get the approval to work for the NCAA, but not to work for them, to get an extra year back. He did get it. He is playing at University of New Orleans now with his dad. So yay, Hersey. But overall, guys, I enjoyed it. Like, I mean, you might lose brain cells. It's not like the most, riveting thing, but it was okay. It was fine. I will say Gemma is what every reality show wants, and she definitely did what she was supposed to do in being unhinged. I don't like how she was talking about Emma and saying, you don't, I think she was protecting Natalie, and she was saying, you don't have to listen to her. She sells BMWs, like, so condescendingly. Like, don't talk about someone who does honest work for a living. Like, that is her job. And she's like, you buy cars from her. You don't even need to. Everybody is not measured by their worth and what they do. Did not like that. Like, Gemma is a reality TV producer's dream, but as a person, she still has a lot of work to do. Like, she was just doing the most in here. And I just really don't appreciate, no matter what you think Emma had done, I don't like when people are not giving respect, especially because it's based on whatever income. Like, she didn't even know she had to file taxes. She's like, "No one told me I had to file my taxes." Like, and when she spoke about, oh, the hardship her family had to face when they moved from South Africa, we were in like a two-bedroom family and a two-bedroom apartment, and it was so hard. And I'm looking at her like, what is the hardship again? Anyways, but if you want to check it out, it's on Netflix and you can see that. Okay. Belle Collective, another Carlos King production. They had their reunion. It's on OWN. It wasn't many episodes, but I did enjoy it. Like I said, it's a show that's kind of like a spinoff of Love and Marriage Huntsville, but it's centered around Stormy, who was a cast member who left and is now on the show. Tiffany cannot stand her, did not even let the reunion cook before she became annoying and started just yelling as she usually does over there. Fumi's ignorance about her finances in her house, a little part of me, I feel like it's put on. I don't want to believe that she doesn't know anything at all. I think she wants to give off like she's being taken care of, and she just leaves it to him and she just collects money from him. But I I I I maybe I'm hoping that that's not the case, because Carlos asked her and she's like she doesn't know how much anything is. And Stormy, she's a vet because she's like it works for them, but that's not the case in my um household. Um, I really, really liked Stormy's answer when Carlos asked, like, what do you think about, the being the breadwinner of the family? And she's like, I would never say I'm the breadwinner because, her husband helped her achieve her dreams and he does everything. And even when she can't with their son, like he steps in. So she would never, go out there and just be like, I'm the breadwinner here. Like they're partners in that. And I just, really, really like that as she teared up. Um, Tiffany said that she did not, well, I guess when they met, her husband did not want kids. And they do have one together. I mean, it makes more sense that he wants to get a vasectomy, even though she wants one more kid. I kind of feel like if she got one kid and he didn't want any kid at all, remember that he had kids, she had a kid, and now they have a kid together. And if she got one, that is a compromise, right? Like I know she's sad and she's allowed to grieve the dream of having another kid, but I didn't realize that he didn't want kids at all before this. I did say earlier when I talked about the show that I believe that Amber was definitely playing up the whole thing with Kayla, because I didn't think it was that deep, but I didn't understand it. Like Kayla is just in a different she's in a different planet from everyone. So honestly, if you're doing the beef, it just feels like it's exhausting and there's no point to it. Just make peace and let's move on. Um I hope Amber and let me see. I hope that Amber and Stormy's friendship lasts, because you get on reality TV and it doesn't always work. I do think Amber being friends with Tiffany is a blockage to the friendship with Stormy, because Tiffany just doesn't like Stormy and vice versa. And I do think we're kind of seeing the behavior. They did have they did call a truce where she was just like, call me. We didn't get to know each other better. Like, I didn't even know about your IVF. So I was wondering if their friendship will survive, but I don't know how she can be friends with Tiffany and Stormy at the same time. Tiffany's saying that everyone is kissing Stormy's ass and they're not telling her the truth because they want to keep their roles on the show. And Stormy's just over it at this point, because at some point Stormy was just like, I've been through so much stuff. God loves me and I love him. And Tiffany, ever the instigator, is like, he does love you and I'm glad that you know that. So I love that she tried to call out, that's Tiffany, tried to call out Fumi and saying like, oh, you did not tell her. You said that you didn't like the Last Supper thing where they were washing the feet, that she thought it was kind of blasphemous. And Fumi's like, but I had a conversation with Stormy, but you don't know. So it's not a gotcha moment. So it's just like, Tiffany, relax, girl. Just be yourself. I don't know why you have all this smoke. You don't need to do all of that. So last show I'm going to talk about is Love After Lockup. This show brings me so much joy. We have 8 new ex convicts. I can't believe I'm being excited about yelling out 8 new ex convicts. The last time I talked about it, I let you guys know that I was watching a whole entire season of Love During Lockup and did not realize I was watching Love During Lockup, because I intentionally don't watch it because I have no interest in watching them while in jail. But there weren't a lot of, why I don't watch this, because I don't like the video footage of them in jail and it's all blurry and I don't like that. And it feels like you're watching like an illegal version of a show. So I didn't realize that. And I was just kept wondering, like, when are they coming out of jail? Like, it's taking so long. And then at the end, they said, like, you've been watching Love During Lockup. Some of our couples will be in Love After Lockup, because my DVR records it as Love After Lockup under the same show. But some of these couples are on this season, so continuing to follow their journey. Damond is in a long line of people on Love After Lockup who is juggling two ladies. How are you locked up but still being a cheater and playing two women? It's amazing to me on too. It just sounds so stressful that I don't understand why you do that. Demond is literally engaged to one of the women and Bonita, and he's with Goddess, and Goddess is obsessed with him. Like she said, I think she's described it as it's a fatal attraction. And I'm like, you've never met this man. Bonita at least has met him before she went to jail. They have things together, but she's like, so when she gets mad at him, she sold some of his stuff. She wouldn't let his mom have access to the storage. She sold the engagement ring that she got him, so she tried to get a cheap one to replace it. But Demond also has four kids and four baby moms. So when Goddess's family is like, are you sure? Are you okay? She's like, yeah, I really love him. So he's giving them two different dates. So he's telling Goddess that he's out on Monday, which is the actual date, so she can come pick him up. And then on Tuesday, she's telling her that he needs to go to his PO's place, but his cousin is going to pick him up and she doesn't need to take him there because she's like, why can't I take you there? And I'm just, this is too stressful for me. I don't understand. Um, Bonita is also insane, like I said. And the funny part is like when they're both describing him, they both describe him the same way. Like, oh, he's my twin flame. It's like we're the same person in two different bodies. For her job, she makes inappropriate waffles. Who knew that was a thing? Like when he called from jail, guys, we're watching Bonita make like penis waffles, vagina waffles. I'm like, I did not know that was a thing. She did say, if you need me for your parties, let me know, which is funny because she's down in Baltimore, which is not so far, but here it is. The thing is, as the show gets older, as reality shows gets older, they try to do different angles and different tricks. So for them, we have a throuple this season. I don't know if they didn't learn from 90 Day. They tried to do that, and that was kind of like a flop when they got the thruple. But they have Trent and Cami, who are 55 and 54, and they have a third person, Nita, who is 40. The difference is, like we love after lookup, they're sometimes meeting for the first time or they've been dating. But in this case, this is not a first time meeting. They know each other. They've been a throuple for a while. The thing is, the throuple got into a fight. Nita got so mad, she relapsed, got drunk, rear ended people, and then ended up in jail. And I'm like, what? So now she's coming back, and Trent and Cami have a daughter who they're just talking casually about it. And I just felt it was like so weird. So we get background on them, and Trent and Cami were in the church. I mean, they lived in Utah, I want to say, and they lost a son, and losing their son just gave them a realization life is short. They don't want to live under rules anymore, and they just want to live life to the fullest, and they just wanted to have all the things, and that's how they got with Nita. So the issue now is they got a ring, they dedicated themselves to Nita, but also I believe Trent was the one who told us that Nita is not attracted to men. Oh, Trent says Nita is not wired to love men. I that was a very interesting choice of words. So most of the time he feels like the third wheel between Nita and Cami. So I don't know how they're gonna work that out. I mean, to be fair, as I observe them, Nita tries to be fair. When she gives one a kiss, she gives the other one a kiss, but I don't know how that's gonna work. But yes, they got her a ring and they tell her they want to make it official. They just want to, make let her know that it's equal. It's all reciprocated and they love her. But in her confessional, Nita is like, I wouldn't have done that. Like, that's kind of moving fast. I was like, wait, you guys have known each other for a while. So I think she's having second choices, but hey, they're taking care of her. So why would she mess up her source of income in that way? So I'm interested to see how that's going to go. Rich and Felicia. Now, Rich is black. Felicia is, they say, Italian, aka she's white, right? But they're from New Orleans. So he keeps saying repeatedly, like, oh, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem. I don't think there's a problem with us being an interracial couple. But because he's saying it a lot, I think it's going to be an issue. But the problem is we finally meet Felicia's family, because just Felicia, when she talks from jail, she does have a black accent, which is always kind of difficult because especially when you're from New Orleans and they have their accent. But when we meet her family, I'm like, are they cosplaying as black? Like one of the ladies had dreads. I'm so confused by this family, but that's what makes Love After Lockup so great. Everyone is just in their raw element. It's not people that are out there like, oh, I'm here to impress and have a good image because I'm gonna be an influencer. After they are just in their raw form, and half the time my mouth is on the floor, and I'm like, what is happening right now? So that's it, guys. If you're looking for a way to watch Love After Lookup, it is on WeTV. They've only had one episode, so you can go check it out, and it comes out on Fridays. So that's it, guys. If you have any questions, let me know. You know where to find me. It is Call MAFS on all the socials. You can check out the bonus episodes and ad-free episodes. And also, I just had an interview with Michelle from Married at First Sight from season 18. If you want to watch the video, it's also on patreon.com/Call MAFS. Please give me a 5-star rating and stay subscribed so you don't miss out on any new episodes. Until next time, guys. Bye.
Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions, pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance, all backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.